How's it going, everybody? My cup of tea here, back from the reaction video, and we're here with a new channel to watch today. So, yay. Now, I believe early on when we watched the casual geographic videos, someone or a couple of you guys mentioned that I should check out another channel called TierZoo, which is like kind of similar. But I believe the way TierZoo works is that he does like it's like a tier thing for animals. It's hard to explain, but I remember watching some of his videos in the past, like when I was in college. And so today we're here to watch him officially on the channel. Yay. Now I was gonna scroll through his videos to see which one catch my eye the most, and I didn't even take 2 seconds because the first thing that popped out, I was like, whoa, what is this? This sounds like it's gonna be funny. Are camels OP? Now I have never asked myself that question before in my life. Are camels OP? I don't think anyone's asked that question before. I don't think camels are that strong, but we're about to learn today. So let's see what the humpback animal has to say. All right, let's get this. Oh, they got a mean bite. Okay. I never seen a camel that aggressive before. Off rip, I'm scared.
Camels are one of the most unorthodox builds in the game. In the right conditions, their combination of unique abilities and special set of elemental resistances makes for a shockingly effective strategy. But overall, where do camels rank on the tier list?
I'm gonna guess like a
C. Is their weird shape and odd skill set actually overpowered, or is their current player base carried by their human allies?
That team is nothing
We'll
without
discuss
me.
the history, stats, and abilities of the camel,
Okay,
and ultimately decide. We'll begin with the origin of the camel.
Zelda.
Camels
Smash
first
2.
began rising in the meta at a time when a lot of mammalian herbivore builds were really taking off.
Right,
Some of these herbivores...
Nope, I can already tell many captions for this. He said some words that I did not even catch. Alright, no, I'm understanding how he makes these videos now. Okay, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Alright.
We'll begin with the origin of the camel. Camels first began rising in the meta at a time when a lot of mammalian herbivore builds were really taking off.
Okay.
Some of these herbivores spec'd into an ability called rumination to gain bonus XP from the newly buffed grass spawn rates. Some herbivores spec'd into more powerful PvP abilities, like keratinized horns and armor, in order to remain more well defended when out in the open. The camel, by contrast, took neither of these paths. Because they could not digest grass, they instead needed to spec into abilities which would allow them to survive the frequent long treks between an ever-decreasing supply of nutritious tree leaves. So what are the camel's most important abilities? The most obvious one is their hump. The hump serves multiple purposes.
Water, right?
Primarily, it's used as a site for fat storage, functioning as an energy reserve which allows camels to survive incredibly long journeys without access to food. With a maxed out fat reserve, camel players can ignore hunger damage for several months as they search for new spots to forage.
That's good. That's good to have right there when you're doing a survival-based PvP. That's really good to have. Because you have more health as you look for more food. Very good. Very good to have.
But in addition to providing starvation resistance, allocating all the camel's body fat to one spot gives them excellent heat resistance by allowing for extremely efficient heat exchange everywhere else on the surface of the camel's body. Now, of course, this ability does come at a cost. The hump is an awkward and cumbersome load to bear, weighing the camel down and making its movement a lot more wobbly and top-heavy while running.
Kinda slow,
Definitely not an ability you could just throw onto any other herbivore build and see benefit from. You need to have other abilities to help mitigate the weaknesses the hump incurs.
Jeez.
So what other abilities does the camel have? The second main ability is the camel's feet pads. Rather than walking on hooved toes like most other herbivores, camels spec into large padded feet. Now, normally when a player spends their evolution points unlocking padded feet, they're doing so in order to mask the sound of their steps and buff their stealth stat. While it does technically offer a small stealth bonus, something as tall as a camel is not going to be very successful at hiding.
True.
Instead, similar to the hump, this ability protects camels from the stress and chip damage most players would accrue when walking for such long distances. It also spreads out their weight, preventing them from sinking into whatever surface they're standing on. This is especially important when traversing sandy or snowy environments, as it negates the movement penalties from this sort of terrain.
Okay, that's a big mouth. Okay, I was gonna say so if they're on a good terrain where there's like sand or snow, which sand is desert, they have like they're big buff in that area. They're like hard to stop, hard to beat in that area.
Sandy or snowy environments,
I just saw
as it negates the movement
on the left side
from this sort of terrain. Camels have a few other minor abilities.
No, that's
as
Baldur's
well.
Gate. I'm stupid.
Their sickle-shaped blood cells make them more resistant to dehydration, and their tough, leathery mouth negates puncture damage, allowing the camel to be one of the few builds able to eat cacti without being hurt by their spines.
That's good.
A lot of players
right
are under the impression that camels possess a powerful spitting ranged attack, similar to the cobra or archerfish. Unfortunately, no, there's not really anything particularly threatening about the camel's spit,
it's just nasty.
nor do they actually employ this skill in combat. They may vomit when threatened, but this is usually just a result of stress, not a defensive ability. That's not to say the camel's mouth isn't dangerous, though. In addition to their tough, leathery palate, one of the things that sets camels apart from other herbivores is that their teeth can actually deal serious damage. And with a neck as long, powerful, and flexible as the camel's, there's not many angles you could attack a camel from without risking a nasty bite counterattack.
Don't they be like having camels in the zoo? They like just roaming and they like go inside your car? No, yeah, because I had trauma from a zoo once when I was a kid. Because the camel did that. No, I did not. I like animals back then. I kind of don't still, but yeah, a camel just like it wanted some food in our car in the little zoo car thing we were in, and he just stuck his head inside and it grabbed it, or trying to grab some. My kid stuff was freaking out. My uncle was laughing. There was nothing funny about this situation. But I could have got bit by that camel.
There's not many angles you could attack.
Was it a camel? I don't even remember anymore.
It
was something.
A nasty bite counterattack. Camels can also attack with their kicks, although their padded feet won't deal as much damage as, say, the sharp hooves of a zebra or giraffe. Anyway, those are the main abilities of the camel build. Next, let's look at the camel's stats. And quick note, I should mention that there are two variations of camel, the dromedary and Bactrian. Their most apparent difference is that the dromedary has one hump while the Bactrian has two. But honestly, the more important difference is in their base stats. Bactrians are larger, more powerful, and better adapted to the cold. The dromedary is smaller, but slightly more agile, and better suited for extreme heat. Camels have slightly above average intelligence, necessary for them to be able to remember the long routes that they travel on. As mentioned earlier, camels do have a more damaging bite than most herbivores. But compared to the damage large herbivores can dish out using their tusks or horns, they still fall short. Their defenses are quite strong, especially when it comes to elemental resistances. But on top of those, the camel's height makes it very difficult for predators to land an attack on them. Thanks to their special terrain movement bonuses, most of the time they don't even need to worry about predators, as no sane player would seriously try to follow them into an inhospitable desert. But even on normal solid ground, the camel's movement speed is pretty decent, albeit kind of awkward. Obviously, even with their padded feet slightly dampening the sound of their steps, their stealth is still abysmal, given that camels are the third tallest land animal after the giraffe and elephant. And lastly, their perception is pretty normal for a mammal, except for the camel's partial immunity to the blindness condition, on account of their long eyelashes, which block incoming sound.
They do got long eyelashes.
This is all well and good, but the question remains, just how viable is this setup really? Is the camel just another build?
I'll be freaking out if a camel just starts just running towards me at full speed. I'll be freaking out. I don't know what I would do. I'm like, Mommy, what's that chasing me?
But the question remains, just how viable is this setup really?
This thing possessed.
Is the camel just another build completely carried by humanity? So the camel is actually one of the more recent additions to the humans' party, with domestication being unlocked during the mid to late Bronze Age, well after dogs, cats, and horses had already formed alliances with humanity. And it was with the last one, horses, that camels were competing with for the spot on the team, as both horses and camels are useful to function as a mount. Horses are the faster mount, and in a lot of scenarios, that's truly all that matters. In Bronze Age human versus human PvP, being able to outmaneuver and flank their enemies was one of the most important factors in securing victory. But for just about everything else, camels were far more reliable. Camels have a higher equipment load, meaning they can carry much more cargo. They have higher vitality and defense, and thus can carry human players a much further distance.
But are we factoring this into the PvP element?
And of course, the fact that they are not impeded by difficult terrain is a huge perk for choosing a camel.
That is very good.
It's for this reason that as humanity began transitioning away from a nomadic raiding playstyle and towards Bronze Age palace-based economies, having a mount that could carry goods across the vast desert between empires was of vital importance.
Good for merchants too.
Camels
that's
were
a plus
the
right
only
there.
viable option for humans to cross the large deserts, like the Outback, Sahara, and Mojave, until humanity unlocked trains on the tech tree. So for a substantial length of time, camels were an integral part of the economy across most of the
camel
world.
Stonks.
Bring me the horizon.
Okay, well, while we wait for this ad to finish. Yeah, so again, I think I said it might be C tier, the camels. Again, it's not good for moving, like, move. Thank you, phone. Thank you. You know what? Yeah, let me just stop talking. I butchered that. My phone went off. Let's just stop that. I don't know what I was gonna say. Good at maneuvering things. Oh my gosh, it's hard to say. But it's good for storage, transferring equipment across places. They're good. They're very good in like terrain, like sandy, snowy environments. It just depends where this camel fights at. Oh, okay, we're back. If it's on grass, then GG. All right, we're back.
Camels were an integral part of the
My phone's
economy
off, right?
across most of the world. And although railroads have made them obsolete in some servers, when it comes to crossing the desert, they are still genuinely one of the best options.
Oh, okay,
Similar to horses and cattle, the vast majority of camel players are purely opting for the human-focused team combo playstyle. There are only around 1,000 players who are part of the truly wild faction that never joined up with humans. Does this mean without humans, camels would be low-tier trash? I can see why you might jump to that conclusion. Despite their immense physical strength, I rated domestic cattle as B tier, in part because without humanity, it's unclear if they can even survive in the wilderness. That's fine. Honestly, B tier might have even been too generous. But there's no question, when left to fend for themselves in the wilderness, camels not only survive, they thrive. When humanity unlocked the motorized transport tech, many human players kicked out the camel players from their party. This happened in America, in the Middle East, and most significantly in Australia. Now, an invasive mammal succeeding in Australia is really not that big a surprise, but thriving in the outback specifically is undoubtedly impressive. Here, they must contend with one of the other most successful Australian invaders, the dingo. And
not the
it's not even close to being an even matchup. Being historically from Asia, camels had to contend with everything from lions and leopards to wolves and even tigers. So despite their awkward top-heavy appearance and lack of powerful damage-dealing abilities, their incredible survival skill earns them the rank of A tier.
A tier? Okay. What's an S tier? I didn't expect them to be A tier. Okay, all right. Let's go camels. All right. I'm sorry I doubted you guys.
Focused specifically on the Bactrian and Dromedary camel, the two builds most players would associate with the word camel. But the camel faction does technically contain two other builds, the llama and alpaca. These belong to the player base of prehistoric camels, which chose to venture south into the South America server, rather than across the Bering Strait and into Asia. Because of their vastly different environments, they obviously spec into different abilities. However, a lot of their core features are more or less the same. I have a lot to say about these creatures, mostly that they are the most disgusting and nasty creatures I've ever encountered. Alright, so this ad read is going to take a bit of a different turn than usual, but here's the deal. A few months ago, I got a message from the team at Wendover Productions asking if I wanted to be on a game show. Considering this is the same team that makes the show Jetlag the Game, I immediately said yes.
I don't know what that is.
And as a result of this decision, I ended up being on a wild, crazy show that ultimately led to me getting kicked and spat on by alpacas.
Oh, that's what
really all you need to know, but let me explain a little more about the concept behind this show. It's a game show where a bunch of YouTubers, including myself, had to compete in a series of challenges in order to win money. The trick is that one of us was a saboteur, a traitor who would deliberately but subtly throw challenges.
So, you're saying there's a imposter amongst y'all? Editor me, put the imposter in you. Don't put that in. Just leave it blank.
And
don't
at
do
the
that.
end of each day, we need to vote off one player that we thought was the traitor. The twist, though, is that all of us were the traitor.
What the heck?
It's an immensely fun show that I'm incredibly proud to have been a part of. It's called The Getaway, and it's an original series streaming now only on Nebula. Nebula is a streaming service owned and operated by creators like me. Many of you have heard me talk Nebula. Nebula is a streaming service owned and operated by creators like me. Many of you have heard me talk about Nebula before. It's the creator-owned platform with no ads, no algorithm, no clickbait, and phenomenal content. In addition to The Getaway, Nebula is home to a huge library of amazing originals, including some of my own. I also upload all of my videos to Nebula first, so if you want early access to all of my videos and tons of great original content, you'll love it.
I never heard Nebula before, because I know about Rumble. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, he might have put me onto something.
If this all sounds good to you, you can sign up to Nebula using my link at nebula.tv/TierZoo.
Okay, well, I don't think it's free. I don't think it's free if there's a yearly plan.
Or use the link below, which supports me directly and gets you access to all this amazing content for 40% off their annual plans, as little as around $2.50 a month. Thank you all so much for watching, and thanks again to Nebula for sponsoring this video.
$2.50 a month. The caption said otherwise. The caption's probably wrong, but okay.
There's a reason.
Alright, well, no, that was fun. Okay. Alright, I will definitely look more into that Nebula thing. Like, is it free to sign up? Like, I never heard of it until today. But yeah, camels though. The camels are... No, I'm very curious now. Because I know he has one about, what, mongoose? They shouldn't be that high. What could be an S tier? No, not chickens. Huh. Oh, the snakes! Later. Go back. Go ahead and subscribe real quick, because I feel like I'm going to be coming back to this channel to watch some more videos, if you don't mind. I mean, I should have known that llamas and alpacas are basically camels as well. They got that mean spit as well, a little still disgusting. Atua. I should have... Silly me. Now, I did not know about its padded feet. It's not that useful, because again, it's like one of the third tallest mammals, so... But you are fast. Surprisingly fast when you run clunky, like you... have broken bones in your legs. You're running weird, but it's scary. Strike fear in your enemies. That's why it's A. I thought it was gonna be B, but that running, the way it runs, might bump it to an A for him, maybe. I don't know. Because if you run like that towards your enemies, that strikes fear in somebody. Like, oh, whoa, hey, I don't want to mess with that guy. Fear. Now I'm curious what's S tier, and I'm curious what's like bottom tier. Like, what's just like useless in the PvP animal tier list. I'm curious what's just useless. Flies? Or like, I don't know. No, flies can kill. But yeah, let me know down below some more videos I should watch from TierZoo or check out from TierZoo. I saw like a couple that kind of strike my fancy. Something about a silverback gorilla versus a grizzly bear. That sounds kind of fun. But yeah, let me know down below what I should check out from TierZoo. But yep, I'm gonna head out of here now. So hope you enjoyed my reaction, and thank you for watching. MyCupOfTea's out of here. See you, everybody. No, I feel like would it be easier to get on the back of a horse or a camel? Because on the camel, that camel was trying to throw them off. It's like, get off of my neck, my back. Yeah. And it has a very mean bite. I mean, horses have mean bites as well. Horses can kick hard, so I don't know. No, hey, someone break that down. Somebody break that down for me. Don't break.